After saying goodbye to Jirachi, our heroes now continue on their journey to the 4th gym, which is in Lavaridge Town. So Ash and the others continue on their way. They make their way to Route 111, which is a full of a desert area. But unfortunately, they can't go very far due to them not having any goggles to protect their eyes from the desertish winds. So they make their way up to Mount Chimney, but unfortunately, they cannot get there because the cable ride has been disconnected briefly. Ash and our heroes have now got only other option left, and that is to go through the fiery path. So they make their way through there, and at that particular point, Ash finds a Torkoal and catches it for himself. Not to be outdone, May tries to find a Pokemon of her own, but ultimately doesn't really work out too well. She's not really a fan of majority of the Pokemon there. She didn't really like Slugma, thought it was too warm, or too hot and too gooey. Not even a fan of Grimer, because again, very poisonous, and Coughing. But then Max had to remind her, why do you want another fire type? You've already got Combustion. And May's like, yeah, I guess you got a point. And so they finally leave the fiery path and move on. As they make their way up to the next route, 112, May has another chance to make another capture. A wild Skarmory appeared, and so she made her efforts to try and get it. But unfortunately, Skarmory was playing very hard to catch, and the Skarmory eventually blew her and her Pokemon away with the devastating Whirlwind, which instantly ends the battle. Drat! I thought I had it, May thought to herself. It's okay, May. You'll eventually get there. May starting to feel like she's falling behind a little bit, but she's not going to let that overwhelm her. They finally make it to Fall Arbor Town, but Brock reminds Ash that one of their friends have been invited, so they have to stand by a bit until she eventually arrives. Ash agrees, but May doesn't want to stand around and wait. So she decides to journey on to the next route, 113, and to see if she can find anything along the way. And luckily for her, she does. She finds herself a Swablu out in the wild. Knowing this is her chance, she sends out her Combustion to fight it. Max obviously watching her face palms and tells her, why are you using a fighting type? Swablu's a flying type. Don't worry about me, Max, I can do what I want. And so the battle is actually quite ferocious. The Swablu actually puts up a bit of a decent fight. But eventually, the Combustion whittles it down enough for May to chuck her Pokeball and capture the Swablu. She is very happy and now has the 5th member of her team. Now, some of you may be wondering, why did I just decide to give her a Swablu instead of a Skarmory? Well, mainly because Swablu is another Hoennian flying type. Since Ash has already got Tailo, I thought it made sense to give her Swablu. And also, Swablu evolves into Altaria, a freaking dragon. It evolves into a flying dragon type. Yes, I know it's never credited as a dragon type, but it learns a lot of Dragon-type moves like Outrage, Dragon Claw, Dragon Breath, and somehow this bird can even cause earthquakes. Okay, I get, okay, that's a little bit weird, but it's, regardless, Altaria is a pretty strong Pokemon. It's a pretty strong Pokemon. So, she's happy. She's got herself another Pokemon. She returns back to Ash, talking all about her capture. Ash congratulates her. And then finally, the friend that they were waiting for finally arrived. Hi Ash, long time no see. Oh, hey Misty, Ash and Brock say. Yes, Misty is here to stop by to say hello to Ash and the gang. But not just to say hello, she also gets introduced to May and Max, who are very flattered to meet her. Misty reveals that she had been invited to the Mirage Kingdom, to a festival for a bunch of Togepi. And considering she has a Togepi, she figured she'd come by, considering that it was nearby the town that Ash and the others happened to stop by. Ash, very excited, really wants to go there right away, but Misty grabs him and pulls him away and tells him, "You guys are going to have to come as guests. I'm the one with the Togepi, so therefore, you guys have to come as guests." And so, as they prepare to make their way to this place for a Togepi festival, Team Rocket, in a disguise, capture Misty and her Togepi. And Ash and the gang have to find her as she is carried away in a blimp. Ash and the gang manage to catch up to them as well along the way. But Misty ends up coming out of the blimp and encounters a mysterious man with a crazy hat and also a weird mustache. And the man informs Misty to hand over her Togepi. She disagrees and she says no, obviously, refusing to hand over her Pokemon. And so, this mysterious man begins to unleash attacks on her by sending out her Shedinja to attack Misty. But fortunately for Misty, Ash and the others are able to catch up, and the man is very annoyed at Team Rocket, who are still in their disguise. "I told you to bring me a Togepi, not a bunch of kids!" And Team Rocket quiver in fear, because again, they're still in their disguise. They do not know it's Team Rocket. So Ash and May step up to this guy. Now, in the original episode, Princess and the Togepi, yes, this is the episode I'm going over, it is Ash and Brock that step up. But because May's a gym battler, she's going to be more than willing to step up to the plate. Ash uses his Pikachu, while May sends out her Combustion. Ash tells Brock and Max to get Misty out of there, but the man is not playing around. He throws out 2 more Pokeballs, and out comes 2 Ninjasks. The bug flying type fly around at Mach speeds, and Misty begins to quiver in fear, as she's not entirely a fan of bug types. She's afraid of bug type Pokemon, and so Brock and Max are informed to take Misty away, and they do it as Ash and May fight off this guy with their Pokemon. But unfortunately, Misty's Togepi ends up getting seriously damaged along the way as they try to make their getaway. A young lady who was just standing by sees a Togepi fall into the water, and she is able to save it. She is able to save it, seeing it in the fountain that landed in her fountain. She grabs it and she's able to bring it back into the castle. Realizing it's a Togepi, she's very happy, but she wants to bring it to safety from whatever just happened. And so the mysterious man that continues his assault uses a smoke screen to escape, as Ash and May continue to attack the Ninjasks, but the Ninjasks use their ability Speed Boost to get away much quicker. And as Ash makes a step forward to try and find them, he almost falls into a hole, but May quickly catches him before he falls. "A hole? What is this all about?" Ash says as May is holding onto him. "It must have used Dig," she said. "Well, hey, let's go down there and see if we can find them." "I agree." So May returns her Combustion along with Pikachu and May. They jump into the hole to see if they can find where this mysterious man went, and to try and find the 2 Ninjasks. So the young lady who has possession of the Togepi brings it back to strength, puts a band-aid on its head to heal it, and tries to nurture it back to health. The Togepi eventually wakes up, but Togepi realizes that's not her trainer she's in front of. But she's very happy to see it okay. The king of the palace gets informed about intruders that have invaded their kingdom by Hansen, who was the evil guy that was attacking them, and eventually the princess's assistant eventually tells them, "Hey, our princess has a Togepi," and the king cannot believe it. He ultimately doesn't believe it because there's not a lot of Togepis around, but he gets the evidence when he is shown that his princess, Sarah, is holding a Togepi in her hands. And he is thrilled. He is so happy. "Yes, we can get this festival underway," the king ultimately says. "I agree. I'm so happy that we now have a Togepi," the princess Sarah says. But unfortunately, they overhear a voice, and the trainer of Togepi, which is Misty, alongside Brock and Max, encounter the princess who holds possession of her Togepi. The king and the assistant encourage these kids to leave, and even Hansen comes in, acting like he had nothing to do with anything, acting all normal comes in. But Misty points her finger directly at this guy, saying that this guy attacked us. And Brock and Max back her up. But Hansen acts like he has no idea what they're talking about. But Ash and May eventually catch up, and they notice him, and they point at him, and they tell him that this guy attacked them when they got here. And so the king has heard enough bickering. He demands Hansen to walk out right now so that they can have a talk with these kids. Frustrated and annoyed, he leaves the premises, but looking back with an evil glare on his face as he closes the door. So, the king wants an explanation to what these kids are doing here. Misty informs them that she was invited to this place because she had possession of a Togepi. And the young princess notices that the Togepi is waving its arms around and making sounds. She realizes this is not just some random Togepi, this is a trainer's Togepi. She feels guilty, and so she walks up to Misty and hands her Togepi back. "I am so sorry," she says. "I'm so sorry. The moment I saw the Togepi, it was wounded, it was hurt. I just wanted to help it. The moment that I saw this Togepi react to you, I knew you were its trainer. I apologize. Trust me, we had no intention to steal this Togepi from you. We are gratefully sorry. Please forgive our princess," they say. And Ash and the others forgive her. She introduces herself as Princess Sarah, the princess of Mirage Kingdom. And the king introduces himself as the king of the Mirage Kingdom. They explain about the backstory about Togepi and why they are so desperate to look for one. They're trying to find a place called Togepi Paradise, where a whole bunch of Togepis apparently live, but they have no way of knowing where it is. Brock, being infatuated by the princess, but then Misty grabs him by the ear at full force and yanks him away. There's another crisis that we're going to be dealing with as she pulls Brock away by the ear. May cringing at how much pain Brock is in, while Max approves by saying, "Oh, brutal stuff! But I do like her style," May responds. And so the heroes agree to help out these people in search of a Togepi. But unfortunately, however, Hansen eventually gets his hands on Misty's Togepi, and he puts his plan to action. He sends the king away into the dungeons, and he wipes out the rest of the game, believing he has succeeded in his mission. He also ends up betraying Team Rocket, who helped him this entire time. And so, with the Togepi in hand, he believes he has finally become the chance to become the king of the Mirage Kingdom, because that was his goal. He wanted to become the king of the Mirage Kingdom. But ultimately, Ash and the gang managed to catch up once again, and he is annoyed. He is getting so fed up with these kids. He's getting so fed up with these kids. He wants to get rid of them and get them out of his sight. And so he manages to wipe them out again. But this time, Ash, May, and Brock end up landing safely on the Togepi Paradise. They found it, they said. They cannot believe it. All these Togepi. They found a whole bunch of Togepi, they replied. And so, they made it their mission to tell Princess Sarah and everybody else where this place is, as Hansen continues his plans. But once again, our heroes manage to catch up to him and try to foil his plans one more time. But Hansen has had enough of these resilient kids who just will not go away. He tells his Sedinja and his two Ninjasks to deal with these kids once and for all. But May, Ash, and Misty all step up to the plate. Ash uses his Pikachu, May throwing out her Combusken, and Misty throwing out her Gyarados in a triple battle brawl. And yes, Misty does actually have a Gyarados. This isn't something I made up. Go watch the episode. She actually does use one. She actually does use one, by the way. And so the three heroes manage to overwhelm these Pokemon, and Misty tells her Gyarados to use Flamethrower to toast the bugs. And the Togepi at the Togepi Falls encourages Misty's Togepi to evolve to protect everybody. And so Misty's Togepi eventually evolves into a Togetic, foiling the plans of Hansen once and for all. Hansen realizing he has now been defeated, and the king arrests him and sends him out of the Mirage Kingdom permanently. Princess Sarah and the king thank our heroes for their efforts. Oh, no problem, they say. We had to do what we felt was the right thing to do. And then Misty's Togetic decides to say goodbye to Misty, as Togetic makes its decision to stay at Togepi Paradise to protect all the other Togepi. Misty understands, but sheds a tear as well. Very sad to hear that her Togetic will be leaving her, but she completely respects its decision to protect all the other Togepi. As they fly away back to Togepi Paradise, Misty says goodbye to her one true friend, Togetic. But now Ash and the gang have to say their goodbyes to the Mirage Kingdom as well. They say goodbye to Sarah, the king, and the assistant as they prepare to leave. But they also have to say goodbye to Misty, because Misty decides it's time to go back to Cerulean City to continue her gym duties. As she's preparing to leave, May steps up. Misty! Yes? As Misty turns around. When I'm done collecting all these badges in the Hoenn region and eventually compete in the Hoenn League, one day I will come to Kanto and challenge the Kanto League. And I want to fight you in a gym battle when that time comes. Misty giggles a little bit. I guess Ash has rubbed off on you. What? What do you mean? As May says this, and she kind of blushes a little bit when she says that. Misty seizes the blush. She just smiles and laughs. Yeah, I figured as much. Ash does have that effect on people. And so, they wave goodbye as Ash and friends once again continue their quest to get to the 4th gym in Lavaridge Town, because that's their goal, to continue to get to the 4th gym. Unfortunately for our heroes, one roadblock may be closed, but another roadblock could very well be on their way as they make their attempts to get to Lavaridge Town.